One of the important saints of the Franciscans is St. Anthony of Padua. Now, we all love him because he's the patron of lost things. And there's an old prayer that goes, St. Anthony, please look around, something's lost that must be found. Well, one of the places where St. Anthony is especially loved is an unusual place, Istanbul. We have a church dedicated to St. Anthony there. And every Tuesday is the day we usually say devotions to St. Anthony, the church is packed with Muslims, and they're all lighting vigil lights in honor of St. Anthony. Why are they doing this? Well, most of the Muslims in Istanbul are Sufis, and Sufis recognize the idea of patron saints of intercession. They're the ones who have all those tombs to the imams where they go on pilgrimage. St. Anthony for them is the patron saint of finding a husband, having a child. And so even though they don't want Jesus to be a part of their everyday life, they do want St. Anthony to be around. Now, how does St. Anthony work? A little 5-year-old asked me, and I love telling 5-year-olds about our theology, because if you can't say it to a 5-year-old, chances are you don't understand it yourself. So a little 5-year-old said, how does St. Anthony find my lost objects? And I said, listen, when it's lost, something's lost, don't you get nervous? The kid says, yeah. And I said, well, when you're nervous, can you find it? Kid says, no. And I said, well, when mommy or daddy helps you look for it, you're not nervous anymore, are you? Kid says, no. And I said, and you find what you're looking for, don't you? Yeah. St. Anthony's like mommy or daddy, a friend who reaches beyond the bounds of eternity to touch our lives in a very simple way. He gives us an example of charity. He gives us an example of service. So with the Sufi Muslims in Istanbul, we say, St. Anthony, pray for us, and may God bless us.